All right, Arizona Rebels, welcome to the 2024 Summer MSBL season. I'm Anthony Alfaro. I'm going to be going over a few things that we all need to be on the same page on, including answering a few common questions we've been getting regarding the schedules, game times, how to RSVP, uniforms. So I'm going to touch on all of that here in a moment. I hope that we can watch this whole video all the way through. And any questions that come up, reach out to me, reach out to Tony Colon, Robert Bean. Really anytime, post it on the chat. So let's get started. Starting off, I want to say thank you to Tony Colon and Robert Bean for putting this together. This team wouldn't be here if it wasn't for these gentlemen, their time, their effort, the money investments that they put so we could all be together as a team. So God bless them. Thank you guys for putting this all together and getting this team started. Now, because of that, we are the underdog. A lot of these other teams have been developed and established over the years, and we don't have that. So the faster we can get to know each other, the faster we can work together as a team, the better. And a part of that, I believe, is going to be communication, not only on the app to RSVP, but on and off the field. So more of that in just a moment. This leads me to what to expect. The games, schedules, and some of the rules of the MSBL I want to touch on. So games are mainly Monday through Friday with a 7 p.m. start time. Games end at 10 p.m. when they're played through the week, Monday through Friday. No new innings can start after 9:50. So most of the time, we're going to be getting out of there right on time or even early. It is a 9-inning game. No overtime. Tie games will have a makeup game. Will be rescheduled. Makeup games, due to scheduling and weather, whatever it may be, or a tie game, will most likely, they have the potential to be played on the weekends, typically on a Sunday, usually in the morning, 9 a.m. Sunday. I mean, keep in mind, it's going to be summertime. It's going to be really hot. So that's really the best time to play. And that's really out of our control anyway. So makeup games, if there are any, they are uncommon usually, and they may be on a weekend. Primarily, we're going to have one game a week. There is the potential to have 2 games in a week throughout the season, maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the season. It is possible, but mainly we're going to have 1 game a week. There's no double headers, so we don't have to worry about 2 games in one day, just evening time, 7 p.m. We will have bye weeks, probably about 2 of them throughout the season. It could be due to holidays or just because of the scheduling. We may not play or have a bye week during the season. During those weeks, we can still train. I encourage you guys also to reach out to each other, to get to know each other. And if you live next to one another, perhaps you guys could get into a training routine. This is going to be a long season, so the more we prepare, the better, in my opinion. This is not like high school or college ball. There's no tryouts. There's no bench warmers. We all have to play. We all paid to play. So because of that, we're going to have a 2-inning switch over. Every 2 innings, we'll have a switch between the guys. One of the asks that we're going to have of you guys is to help us manage that, self-manage, if you will. So to keep this all on the shoulders of Tony, of Bean, to try to manage, let's say if 15 guys show up to one of the games, it's just going to be a lot of work and a lot of focus on just getting people on the field when there's also other things going on. And believe me, we're going to be distracted with who's on base, who's up, what's happening. So again, self-manage. We have to communicate with one another. Hey, I want to come in after these 2 innings. Remember, I'm going to be taking your spot, for example. So self-manage and let people know this needs to be on the scorebook. We need to let the other team know. We need to let the umpires know when we're adding or switching guys on the field. So that's going to be one of our asks as well. One of the rules of the MSBL as well, some of the rules right on the MSBL website, no tailgating before or after the game, no alcohol allowed. So in other words, it can't be visible. That's the way I like to look at it. But, you know, we're all adults, do what you're going to do. But for the most part, Be 100% discreet, or just don't do it at all. If we get caught with any alcohol on the field or anywhere in the dugouts, the team will be terminated from the season. We don't want that. So also that leads me to clearing the benches, fighting. That will also lead the team, if we clear the benches, to be completely suspended or eliminated from the season. No clearing the benches, no fighting. Be adults. We're not, this isn't the MLB. It's not that important. We're all here for fun. If you are ejected from the game, tensions run high, ejections do happen, you will be suspended for 1 game after that ejection. Now keep in mind, if you're being a fool and you get ejected from the game, you do run the risk of rubbing everybody the wrong way. Maybe management will ask you to put up your glove for the season. So all in all, I guess the takeaway here is just to not fight. All right, the scorebook. So this is going to be one of the asks I'm going to have as well. The scorebook has to be kept, and it has to be kept clean. I'm going to work on posting everything from the scorebook onto the MSBL website, azmsbl.com. So my ask of you guys is to help out with the scorebook. We can't just leave it to the management team or on the shoulders of just one individual. Let's try to all pitch in with the scorebook as much as possible. In fact, I'm going to include a link, a 4-minute video in the description on how to keep a scorebook. I know that's something I didn't know how to do when I first started in this league, so it's just going to be a quick, even if you do, it's going to be a quick reminder, refresher on how to keep a scorebook. There we go. So the field, most of the games are going to be on Major League spring training baseball fields. We see Tempe Diablo on the schedule, San Francisco Giants spring training facility, Anaheim Angels spring training facility, and then we also have games at Red Mountain, which is a nice field. It's not MLB, but there's a lot of teams, and I see them being the games being distributed as best they can. So most of the time we're going to be on Major League Baseball field spring training. I want to be clear, not the stadiums, but the spring training fields. Salt River Fields is also on the socket docket. All right. One of the asks of the MSBL on these fields is no seeds, no spitting chew or seeds on the ground, and no dogs, whatever. All right. Uniforms and gear. The main uniforms are still at the supplier. They're a little bit late, so they'll be here towards the end of April, beginning of May. In the meantime, we will have jerseys similar to the one I have on now. So this is just the general jersey. Not going to have your name on the back until the main jerseys do arrive. But the jerseys will be distributed at the game, the first game, on April 17th at Red Mountain Field. Hats will also be handed out on that first game. Pants, primarily gray or white. We are getting 2 sets of jerseys, black and white, home and away. So some guys last season just wore gray or white the entire time. That's okay, no big deal. If you're able to get both gray and white pants to match the jerseys, even better. Socks and the team color is going to be baby blue. So baby blue socks, baby blue belt, any drip, baby blue if you can. Cleats. Cleats, we are allowed to wear metal cleats, spikes. Yes, you can wear whatever you want, actually. So if you prefer turfs, if you prefer rubber cleats, do whatever you want, whatever works for you on that end. You do have to have your own gear in terms of bats and helmets and everything else, glove and bag. You need to be responsible for your own gear. Bats are wooden bats. It's a wooden bat league, and wooden bats do break. If you can, get yourself a composite bat. That's what I have, and they do phenomenal. They have better pop. I believe there may be a rule against composite bats, but I've never been called out for them, and I've been using them for years. Let me know if I forgot anything. I do want to touch on some of the asks that we're gonna have of you guys. The first of which is showing up to the game 30 minutes early. I personally like getting to the game at least 45 minutes early, sometimes an hour early. The fields are open. These are badass fields. Why not get there and warm up? Except for the Red Mountain fields. The Red Mountain fields open up 30 minutes beforehand. So if you get there early, you're just gonna be waiting in the parking lot at Red Mountain. Everything else, you can get there early and you'll be able to get on the field and start working out. Ideally, in those 30 minutes when we get to the field, we have a warm-up routine that we all do. We don't have to do them together, but that everyone does individually for themselves. And the goal for that is to get stronger, to prevent injury, to throw more accurately, and to warm up. It's very, very common to see guys just show up, put their bags down, and just start throwing with the guy, hey, let's start throwing. And no other league does that happen, not even Little League. Typically, what we see or what you want to do is warm up, do a run, do some shoulder warm-ups, rotator cuff warm-ups. I'll include a link to a video that helps break down some ideas and some options of how to warm up before throwing the ball. All right, so communication on the app. If you're going to be late, call, text, or even post on the app that you're running late. It helps us prepare in case you're not there before the start of the game and you're up to bat, for example. So just communication is important. One of the asks we're gonna have of you guys is base coaching. If you see the first or third base empty, take that spot up and communicate. I've had guys get out there and they don't say anything. You know, if you don't know how to base coach, this is the perfect time to learn. Get out there, and the main thing is just communication with your guys. So just be loud, get out there. So that's an ask we're gonna have. Scorekeeping is a requirement for the league to qualify to play in the postseason. You have to have 8, I believe it's 8, maybe 9 games played in the season in order to qualify to play in the postseason. So in other words, if you don't show up and you didn't play a game, at least 9 or 8 games, you will not be eligible to play in the postseason. There will be a postseason, we will be playing that. You have to have at least 8 games to play. That being said, scorekeeping is going to be vitally important. I'm going to leave a link in the description on a 4-minute video to get caught up on how to do scorekeeping. So a good refresher for everyone. And lastly, an ask of you guys is to RSVP on the app. Let us know that you're coming to the game, or if you're not coming, let me show you how. I'm gonna make a quick video here on how to use the app. All right, here we go. So here's the app. I want to start off with this main icon, the guy icon. This allows you to change your profile, change your name before you get into the teams. Once you're in the teams, there's 5 icons at the very top: the main chat, the schedule, RSVP, pictures, which isn't that important, everyone's names. I encourage everybody to learn everyone's names. And then direct messaging. This is how you direct message to someone individually or to a few people as a group. But when you're here in the chat, more importantly here in the schedule, click on this arrow to go to the games. This isn't one of the games, but this is an example. You can click yes, you can click no, maybe, and view. View takes you to who's going, who clicked yes, who clicked no, and it'll pull up the list. So I like to see this to see who's going to the games. All right, wrapping up. So a reminder, a practice game is this Wednesday. Only a few days away, April 10th at Kiwanis Park in Tempe. I will post this on the group chat so you have the directions on where we're gonna be. The first game is April 17th at Red Mountain in Mesa. So that we're playing against the team Serpentine. the information is on the app. So that's about it. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening, hearing me out. Any questions, as I mentioned, reach out to us anytime, call, text, email, or of course on the app. So I'm excited to work with each and every one of you guys. So let's go. We'll see you out there. Take care.